how dangerous this can be for your animals. We have Dr. Meredith Stanaland. I'm going to pull her up now. She's from the Nacogdoches Animal Hospital. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to hear more about, of course, what this all means. I mean, I've had my own run-ins with ticks before, but what do you usually see when it comes to dogs or cats that get bitten by ticks?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on again this week. But when dogs and cats are bitten by ticks, like you can see a really big variety of signs or consequences from minor skin irritation to even some more serious symptoms, depending on the type of the tick and whether it transmits any diseases. Typically, you'll see redness or some small inflammation around the bite, a small bump or scab where and if the tick was attached, hair loss, and sometimes the only thing you'll see is them licking a certain area. And so besides feeding off blood, that's just one of the other things that can happen to them is just what you'll see locally.
Now, when it comes to, I mean, ticks already sound aggressive. You think of them feeding off your blood, which sounds awful and horrible. But are there any other health risks that come with ticks?
Yeah, thank you for asking. So it varies between dogs and cats, and there is health risk, a little bit difference in for both of them. So in dogs, some of the more common tick-borne diseases that we'll see, you can have Lyme disease, which you may have heard of before. Ehrlichia, anaplasma, and Rocky Mountain spotted fever are all some tick-borne illnesses that we can see, and that can show a variety of signs from lethargy, a little bit of fever. It can even show in joint pain or even, pale gums or bruised gums from anemia from either an infestation or it affects their platelets. Our cat friends are a little bit more resistant to ticks, but they still can experience some similar clinical signs. There's some other tick-borne illnesses that they can have. And then your cats, you're going to see more of a fever, lethargy, or loss of appetite. And even in really severe cases, you can see something called tick paralysis, which can cause mostly dogs actually become paralyzed from the tick bite. So that is also something that we'll see sometimes.
Really? Paralyzation? I didn't even think that was possible just from a single tick bite.
Yep, I've seen it and treated it, and the dog has done great after treatment.
Oh, wow. Okay, so going back to the bite, right? The initial bite and how to
Yeah.
remove it properly, because there is a way to do it right and there's ways to do it wrong.
Yeah.
Walk us through it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it can be kind of scary, right? You probably heard the myth, like you want to make sure you get the head, right? Because if you leave the head behind, it's going to almost become like a foreign body to that body. And it can be like a similar reaction, like a splinter. So it can, make an abscess or be really painful where you leave it. So I did have a little stuffed animal that I was going
Oh,
to show
wow.
you guys. And my
Yeah.
technicians drew a little tick. So this is a little tick that we have on our little kitty cat. And so you can see it right here. You typically see the head, you can see the body. I would recommend tweezers or even some hemostats and grasping the head firmly and then doing a twisting motion to fully get it off. Because if you don't, you're going to pull out the body and leave the head behind. So I was able to get that little tick friend off really easily with just a simple twist and pushing right at the head.
Oh, wow. Now, if I'm a little too scared to remove it myself, is it okay to just go to a vet to, allow you to do the twisting?
Absolutely. We can absolutely help anytime. There's also some, really effective tick products. Lots of your flea and tick products are going to be a combo. Either it's oral or topical drops that will kill ticks as well. But you can always call us if you ever see them or you're concerned about not taking them off yourself.
Now, what if I took off the tick wrong? What kind of
Yeah.
harm could that happen or what create for my animal?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what will happen is, that head will stay behind. And so it can allow that pet to be maybe potentially more exposed to a disease. It'll cause kind of like a similar reaction to like a splinter if you had that in your body. So it would eventually need to come out if the body doesn't push it out.
Gotcha. Now, speaking of just being prepared and avoiding this from all happening altogether, I know there's many different medications and things that we can do to take care of our pet beforehand. What would you recommend?
Yes, I would recommend, keeping your pet, especially every pet's going to be a little bit different based on the lifestyle, the species, like where you're located. All those things play a factor in what kind of prevention that you want. But typically, your oral preventions or your topical preventions are going to be great, especially really truly year round. It doesn't get cold enough here to kill the ticks and the fleas. So, really, year round prevention is going to be the best thing that you can do. Other things that you can do is check your pet daily. Places that you'll see ticks are going to be, in their little paws, under their tail base, their ears, even in their mouth, and sometimes around their neck or collar. You're going to see some potentially you could see them there. And try and avoid heavily wooded areas or areas that are tall grass where you're going to potentially see ticks. And if you have a yard, make sure that you're treating your yard with flea and tick. Make sure you're treating your yard for any other parasites or friends.
I know some of us have gone to, what is this, like gone to stores, big stores where, maybe Walmart or what have you. That's just one
Mhm.
example. But do you think that those are still okay to use rather than going to a vet and getting a medication through your clinic?
Yeah, no, that's a really great question, and I think there's a lot of information out there. So anything that you can get over the counter is going to have an EPA label, and anything that you get from a veterinarian, so a doctor, is going to have an FDA label. So just a little bit of a stronger concentration, a little bit of a different product. So really depends on again on like your exposure, if you're going to be really be needing something, or if you already know that you have fleas and ticks, I would recommend go ahead and get something from a veterinarian.
So your hunting dogs, your animals that are going to be out in the woods, you really want to vet making sure that your animal's safe.
If there's going to be a high risk of exposure, absolutely.
Gotcha. Is there anything else that we haven't really covered regarding this topic that you want us to know?
Um, I think I said it, I briefly mentioned it, but they're really around year round, especially our brown dog tick that we get in this area. There's going to be four big ticks. So you have the brown dog tick, the American dog tick, the Lone Star tick. So that it's got a it's got its own state tick. And then our black-legged tick are the ones that we mostly see in this area. So there's a lot of different ones. So if you're worried and you find one on your dog, you can actually always save it and bring it to the veterinarian, and we can try and identify what kind of tick it was too.
Now, if we have any questions that we can go directly to you about, how can we get in contact with you or the Nacogdoches Animal Hospital?
Yeah, so we have a website, we have a Facebook page, and we're always willing to take phone calls or consults if you need us.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for
You're
joining us.
welcome.
It's always nice to, have a little bit of clarity when we go through these bigger topics, especially ticks. Yes. That is so
Yes.
cool. The demonstration. It's much appreciated. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. Thank you. All right. We'll see
You're
you
welcome. I love
next
your
time.
outfit with the cats on it.
Thank you. I tried to coordinate when it comes to our vet and pet project days. Thank you for
I like it.
noticing.
I see it.
I'm a big cat
All right,
girl. What can
wonderful.
I say? All right. Well, thank you, and we'll see you next
Have a
time.
good day.